Work it, boy. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rabbit Hole. It is Thursday night, July 14th, 2022. And this is episode number 10, season 2, and episode number 10 of the Rabbit Hole with yours truly, Blaizeman, Mr. D, and Mr. Donnie. How are we all doing tonight, fellas? I can't hear nobody.
You know why? Because I was talking to the mute. Hello, Blaze. Hello, Donald. How are we?
How you doing? How you doing?
Good. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Here's my intro. I'm Mr. D, and I'm ready to go.
There you go. Okay. Hey, Donnie, how are you today?
I'm good, Blaze. How
you ready doing? You ready to move?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. So,
all right.
We're going to continue on education from the last week's episode when we were started talking about education levels from what we had compared to what's now. People talking about how they don't know as much. We're not graduating kids that are, smarter, ready for the real world. So I'm going to pose this to Demas. I posed it to him. I'm like, all right, so let's teach like a topic, a life skills class in high school. Mandatory. As you're a senior, you got to attend a life skills class for one semester of the year, whatever, right? So in that class, Demas, what topics are you teaching the youth so they're ready for adulthood? What are you teaching?
A checkbook should have been done in third or fourth grade already.
Really?
A checkbook in third or fourth grade, bro?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Just no, but hear me out. We're not going to do a checkbook, but basic computations and what you do in a checkbook, add and subtract, I think you're learned at the third and fourth grade. All right, I'm at a genius level now. Come on, guys, come up with me.
I'll give you that one. Okay, you just phrased it in a different term. Okay, got it.
Yes, sir.
Adding and subtracting, yes.
Yes, and I would like a little tracker today on the site, Mr. Blaizeman, to see who's at the higher genius level today. Yourself, Donald B, or President D.
Okay.
Well,
I
okay,
see that's
so
going to be easy to win. So, all right, got you, man.
so like I told you
No,
before,
but
Donnie and I don't mind being a genius at number 9. You only fall in number 1 when you become smart. You know what I'm saying?
sure,
We're
I've established the
always
guidelines.
a genius. We're always
All right,
the
come on,
smartest.
Davis.
But go
Tell me what you
ahead.
think, bro.
Okay, so what I want, what I would like to see, and I can only speak for my children. What I'd like them to know is basic investing, i.e., CDs, E-series bonds, basic 401k. So when you enter the workforce, you're not looking like an idiot. Talking about matching and a traditional 401k is taxed after you withdraw, and a Roth IRA, you pay taxes up front. I was fucking like in my 40s when I first saw a 401k, and I asked them stupid questions because I wasn't fortunate, but the military took care of that for me, and then when I got in the civilian world, and the biggest one I think, Donnie, that a lot of people are green on is real estate. How to buy a house. What is a foreclosure? What is a VA loan? What is
Okay,
why can't
okay.
we
So we're
why
still
can't we
talking about this is a class that a senior has to take before
Yeah.
they graduate from school.
Yes.
Okay. And you're
Yes.
saying, well, guys, you got to understand, I have to bring this up sometimes because there's always people joining the show. Okay. So at the senior level, this is your last year of high school. Okay. And this is Mr. D's last class that he wants to put out. So you want the seniors to learn all of this stuff before they graduate high school.
junior and senior year? Yes.
Junior and senior year. Now,
Yes.
is this going to be?
We waste more time with PE with the
Oh, hey,
not
hey,
wait,
Yeah.
no, hear me out. No, listen to me.
Okay.
For the non-voluntary participants at PE class, and Donnie, it's not all, but it's a dramatic number, and I'm willing to say a good 40% do not actively partake in gym classes. Of course, you got your little, thoroughbreds, your little basketball players,
right,
wrestlers, and all that. No,
right.
but
Okay.
if you're not and this is the big reason why I say this, especially for the folks like myself, graduated high school, is that none a good percentage during my time, and I would say now too, because shit, you don't have kids finishing high school, never mind. Uh, Let me just continue on. A lot of people are not going to continue their education. Some are going to go into the military, and some are going to go into the workforce. And these kids that go into the workforce today, they will be introduced to 401ks, and it sucks as an individual knowing, wow, why don't I know this?
Okay.
Never got taught. Never got taught. And that's the real successes of life is investing. Investing. And I hate and Donnie probably get this, Donnie's gonna hit me somewhere, but I'm monetizing it. Yes, because I'm looking for the future of these kids when they go out.
Donnie.
Your rebuttal, Donnie?
Okay, I'll agree with you on the process of what it's like to buy a home. And the loan processes in general. And this is where I'm saying, Blaze, we keep talking about how they're not ready for the real world. That's why they're staying at home. There's people out there that say it, don't they, Blaze? Right or wrong?
Yeah.
They're saying that our generation can't survive, or this newest generation can't survive on their own. Why not? Because we don't teach them that. We don't teach them loan processes about fixed APR, adjustable rate mortgages.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We don't talk about that. They don't know that process.
Yeah, but guys, ain't that a little bit? Listen, ain't that a little bit extreme? Because when you graduate high school, there's only so much that you're going to do. You're not going to be in the process of buying a house, Donnie, for the next 10 years.
We're talking about an overview, a general overview, bro. Because you know how many times you get out, and I've seen somebody at a register, if they didn't have a calculator, they couldn't figure out how to give somebody change.
Right. Well, I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, this is part of what needs to be done. And then I go along and driving on the road and I see a 20, 30-year-old dude, looks like anyway, 20, 30-year-old dude, and we can't change a tire. That's the kind of skills I'm talking about, Blaze. You got to know that. Or, hey, something goes wrong in my apartment that I'm renting out because I'm 20 years old. I'm in an apartment. Do you know where to go hit the fuse box to turn everything off to try to minimize damage? Do you know anything about that?
I do, but I mean...
Yeah, and when did you learn that, Blaze?
Well, I learned it in school doing electric, shit like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
When you were a PlayStation champ.
Like that.
But
when we talk about them and we're talking about their education level and people on TV and all these other articles and stuff are talking about we're losing because we're not teaching, but I'm giving you a way to teach. I mean, you want to prepare for real world or you want to prepare to keep staying with you? Make a choice. I want to prepare for real world so they'll leave the nest.
I got
okay. So how would you
moment? I got a genius moment.
Let me hear it.
No, and for this conspiracy theories like yourself, Blaze. I mean, you can generate a theory about a wrong turd.
Yeah.
It's the government taking all the power away to basically move to socialism. Why are you going to learn how to buy a house? The government's going to tell you what house you're going to live in. Am I right or wrong? Why are you going to learn how to invest?
But I can't answer that right now because we're jumping. We're jumping here. We're jumping.
No, we're not. No, we're
sure
not.
We are. Sure we are.
What the hell is this? The Oprah show or the Rabbit Hole show?
Look, it's the Rabbit Hole, but
and I want to peel an onion back. I'm peeling an onion.
You're jumping.
No, he didn't. He just took a subject and he went deeper with it. So I can somewhat agree with Demus's thing. But to go back to what they learn, you know what? If we teach these kids, simple home stuff. We teach them about tax creation, how taxes are created, what they're used for. They're smarter finance. We teach them personal finance. We give them an overview, how to balance books, do all that stuff. Because we all know it's through an app now. You got to look at your app. But you teach them the basic accounting skills, plus or minus. I had this much, I take away this much. They're financially smarter. Guess what? They make better choices on the business end. A better economy.
But I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that point. I'm not arguing that.
What we're gonna do with it, though.
So but how easy you think? But they're gonna make this app so fucking easy. A monkey's gonna be able to flip through it. So, and number two, do you think the government is gonna, put some money aside because these are all good points? I think they should be taught basic skills on, hey, when you get a job, this is what a 401k looks like. This is what this looks like. Hey, this is how you might be able to file your taxes. I get all of that. You know what I'm saying? But who's going to pay for it? Because it always comes down to who's paying for it. You know what I mean? Who's paying for it? Listen, they pass so many kids through school that they're not even smart enough to graduate high school, and they fucking push them through anyways.
Blaze, the point was, what would you do to change it? And that's what we would do. But you're going to go down that road. We go down that road because of the mighty dollar.
Well, I agree with your points on how we would change it. That's why I'm not bringing up my own scenario. I agree with it, but again, this is the rabbit hole. So now we're talking about, we have the worst fucking school education system in the world. Right. You know what I'm saying? Those numbers that we put up last week, I don't know where those numbers came from. I mean, they came from a legitimate website. We all seen that. And they were saying we were number one in education, and that's fucking bullshit.
No, that's not BS. There's some areas where the United States is the best.
No, come on. We can't just go with areas because you're nitpicking now. You can't just go with areas. Oh, hey, we're good at fucking, crab soccer and fucking PE. You know what I mean?
But that's what that article's doing. It's nitpicking one little area and putting a general title to it so everybody blows it up. That's all they're doing.
Anyway, we got a message, Blaze.
I know.
Okay, look at it.
I did. I was hoping to read it, but you guys were clowning around.
Well, go ahead, put it. We weren't clowning. We were talking.
Let me go on this. Blaze, here's another reason why we teach investment strategies to seniors. We give them an overview because the more they have invested, the stronger our economy is. You know that. The more money that's invested within our economy, the stronger our economy is and the more stable it is. That's why you teach that. Because if I can get a 20-year-old to start investing even $50 a month, $100 a month, and you pile that up over 20, 30 years, I'm going to have a lot of money. Come on now. You know so that that's where you got to go with it. That's why they're saying, oh, don't. Well, you take that away from teaching people that, then you just grease the wheels to go down to another form of a society, down to socialism, the authoritarian side.
Which I brought up.
Okay, read what the comment said, D.
So our first comment today is from Ely Wayne 73. That's why they don't teach handwriting anymore. They're dumbing our kids down. They should teach real world things like finance, 401k, and how to invest in themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point there, a viewer, because we were just discussing that, and then he or she had something else to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
balance a checkbook. Our real history. So much they don't teach these days that I had when I went to school. Well, this viewer is making a comparison to put what he or she got taught in her days compared to what kids are getting taught today. I agree and I disagree with that. And I'm trying to find a course that I didn't need in elementary school and high school. Here's one. I was going to high school. They wanted me to do mechanical drawing. That fucking class sucked. Should a kid need mechanical drawing now? I don't know. But I know there's other classes. Shit, when I was in school, there was no such thing as a computer yet. But now you got to have computer technicians.
Right, but that's just another reason why I would, when we got deeper into how we're going to change education, is those classes would be needed. If that's a STEM for, or they're little, in high school, they pick somewhat of a career path now, and they take classes associated with that career path. So I understand that.
Case in point where education is right now in the United States. And I had and I'll give it away. It's a gentleman. I had to Google who the Secretary of Education was right now for the Biden administration. I had no clue.
Isn't it a woman?
No. And now this is the other point I was going to. I remember President Trump's. She was a woman, and her name was DeVos. And the reason why is that she always made a lot of noise on the media outlets. Just trying to better education, and she got a lot of fallback from schools.
Right.
And now with this secretary, his name is Miguel Cardona.
Oh yeah, the Spanish dude.
Yeah, well, there's a couple on the cabinet. That's irrelevant. You don't hear about them. You just don't, and I don't want to hear. Well, if if the ship is running right, you don't need to blow the whistle. Everybody knows the ship ain't running right in education, man.
No.
You know that this Secretary of Education needs to be more outspoken. I don't even know what his focus is, man. Betsy DeVos, the Trump Secretary of Education, her big focus was getting vouchers for parents that wanted to put their kids in a charter school or a parochial school. Parochial, that's Catholic, Blaze.
Yeah, whatever. That's a different argument about whether they give vouchers to private schools or not. I think a parent should have a choice to do that. If they're eligible for the voucher is theirs. They should be able to use it how they want to.
Her name was Elizabeth D. DeVos or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her name. So where are we going with that?
That this country right now is kind of stale. The water is stagnant right now when it comes to education.
Of course the water is stagnant right now. Guys, I think that we have great points on what should be done in the classroom.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't know if he was fooling around or anything, D. But teaching a kid a checkbook in the third and the fourth grade, maybe fifth or sixth grade, I could see teaching something like that. But
I caught myself on that, and I just went to the basic computations on a checkbook.
right,
okay.
right.
You
So,
know,
but I mean, we're just talking. We're just
No,
talking of what our ideas could be about it, and in reality, they're not. I just want to get back to where they're just pushing kids through school. Oh, here's your high school diploma. Oh, you showed up most of the fucking year. You know what I mean? You was basically a good student and shit. So we're just gonna move you along. What should we do about that? What should the parents do about that? Parents are kind of scared to go to your town halls or whatever and stuff like that in fear of being watched by the fucking FBI and shit like that. So they're
No, that's
basically
online.
trying to take what?
Most of that stuff's online. You can do that online. And
Yes.
nowadays, you can do most of that online, and you can go file clearing complaints and grievances and do online petitions and all kinds of crap now.
Yeah, but how many get rolled up in a fucking ball, Donnie, and get thrown in the trash?
Probably 99.99.99% of them.
Okay, so
But
what do we do to try and fix it? All right.
you
Now
have to
I'm
go
going to take that statement from you, Donnie. Okay. You got 3 minutes. What do we do to try and fix that?
what to fix the educate. You got to go down to the
Education
meeting.
system.
You got to go to the school board meetings. I can tell you like this: my wife went for 2 years to school board meetings about year-round school out there in
Yep.
Horizon for Clint.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Demas, you know it.
yeah, bro.
For
Go
2
ahead, man.
years, it took us going to the meetings and stomping on year-round school is what's best for the kids. Here's the statistics. Here's everything, and you just got to keep beating them up. There's no other way to do it. But you can do the change. But you got to be patient enough to keep beating them up because some of them old timers been up there and like we went through it the first year. Oh, if we went to year-round school, I'd have to cancel my vacation plans. So that's why they voted no. Found that out. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the crap that goes on, but that's where you got to go out there. And like I say, a lot of that you can do online now. You keep doing it online, filing. The schools, when they send you emails and asking you about how you think it can be better, actually fill them out and send your ideas back and throw stats in there while you're doing it. Look up stats, get your numbers right, throw it in with your emails. That's how you can do it. But that's our fault about the email, electronic version.
How do we feel about charter schools?
I'm all for them. First, it promotes, believe it or not, competition of them high schools that pass out diplomas versus the charter schools that you earn it. Um,
That's yeah.
yeah, man, it's no. I brought this up the last week. We briefly talked about charter schools versus public schools and how public schools are advertising, what their students do. It's a lie.
Right, but there's marketing involved. But charter schools, my only thing is um
The
the
sports
accreditation.
program.
No, the accreditation of the school. You know, like college, you got nationally, regionally accredited.
Yes.
That's my only thing about is the accreditation. Is there a minimum federal standard that has to be met?
I'm
Because
pretty
if you
sure.
take that and when you're saying you're applying for a job in another state or something, you know what I mean?
I hold a charter school a lot more on the spectrum to higher versus not to uh,
Yeah. I mean, I just
a
don't know.
charter kid, a public high school kid. That's where I hold them.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Well,
I just
well,
don't know
charter
that.
schools go from like kindergarten all the way up to high school.
Good
Yeah.
job there, Blaze.
Hey, if the
But
parents can
what
afford
I
it, you
meant
can
by
send
that
them.
D, what I meant by that D is they don't go to another school. It's all in the same building.
Yes.
They
Yes.
don't go to another school. Okay.
Is that too rough for you to go to a same school for 12 years?
No, why would it be
Is
too
that
rough? Why would it be
I
too
don't know.
rough?
You had a little you were sounding
Hey,
that sounds
look,
like it'd be a little rough for this kid, for Johnny and Mary, to go to the school for 12 years of their life without no different scenery or break it up. That's the problem. We cater, we cuddle,
No, that's not
we
the
cuddle,
problem. My
we
wife and
cuddle.
I enjoyed the neighborhood schools more than we enjoyed sending them to our kid that has 4,000 kids in one building. And the reason for that is because everybody knew everybody in that school. When we walked in the door for whatever reason, they knew our name. Oh, hello, Mr. and Mrs. St. Pierre. Who are you here to? Who are you here for, Sean or David? Okay. Now you walk into these schools, they don't even know who you are. You're just another person. Sign your name here. You know what time you came in, and somebody will be with you shortly. But when it was neighborhood schools, you know what I mean. We knew all the teachers. We knew all of that. So yeah, I think it's more comfortable for a girl or a boy to stay in the same building and with faculty that they know. You know what I mean? Going through school.
Babe, Blaze, that goes for everything in life, man. Sorry, you ain't gonna get the yeehaw anymore. Community, look at police force. Good God, the community residents of that sector would know the officer of the day, or of the afternoon, and of the night. Today, you don't know what cop has got your sector because there's no involvement. You
Exactly.
Right.
know, if
Right.
you and it's not only in school you lost it, you lost it in everything, man. And the biggest killer of it is is what I have in my hands, a cell phone.
Screen time, too
Right.
many apps. But
But
what?
if I have an app, my app is law enforcement.
Okay, you go mow that lawn. Whatever. Whatever. I don't know. I If you want to fix education, I think you go year round all the time. The stats, everything is better for that. Our kids will learn more. They retain more. You start that when they're young, and that's what they're used to. Guess what? They're used to being there all year round, so it's easier for them to transition into the workforce as well.
Why not have school year
Just telling
round?
you.
They do it in China.
There's places in the U.S. that does it, but not everybody does it. And then you're talking about
Do
the
you think?
lag
Do
between
you think
the.
that? Do you think that would be good for the kids, or do you think no?
It, it improves the kids. Their learning capabilities, their learning retention. It all improves. The schools get more money, federal money, for things like security or paid security, like sheriffs, or at their facilities, because that's everything that when I say Clint went to year round that we helped try to go through. They got money for buses where they have actual seat belts and they have heating and AC, because they got all kinds of federal grants out there, all kinds of money. They got security guards at every campus within the district, and they're prior law enforcement stuff like that. They got new facilities. They made their teachers one of the highest paid in El Paso because they got money to help with that. The burnout, kids don't get burned out as much. You don't have as many problems at the schools. Teachers don't get as burnout. They don't have as many breakouts or breakdowns at the schools.
Hey, you're playing some.
Oh, way better.
Right.
That's just half the benefits.
Right. All right,
That's
ladies and gentlemen, for more of the rabbit hole, and we'll be right back after this short break with the rabbit hole. Stick around, and we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, baby. Work it, boy. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, thanks for sticking around for more of the rabbit hole. And we were discussing education and, should our children be taught basically some business economic type of deal in their junior and senior year. And, we come pretty much to the conclusion that, we should be teaching them something like that. But then it comes to the point of course. Okay. And now, if the child makes it out of high school and is basically intelligent enough to go to college, do you think some of these college debts should be forgiven? I'm going to let you go first, D.
No.
Hell no.
No. Nope, nope, nope,
Well,
nope.
Demons, let me go.
Go.
Oh no, we ain't paying for your college debt. I talked to my brother today. He made some great points. If you're gonna do that, you can, like, all that stimulus money you said you handed out to help everybody. That what most people don't know was nothing more than a loan that we're paying back. That's why you don't get tax returns, and they always ask you that question if you got them on your taxes. Those are loans. So you openly chose to take out them loans to go to school. This is where I kick it back to a life skills class in high school. How about you teach them what they're getting into? That they don't go 4, 6, 8 years to school and get out with $250,000 in debt because they don't understand that debt started occurring interest from day one. You stepped on campus and signed the paperwork or whatever. It doesn't. They don't know that all that time they weren't making payments because, oh yeah, you're in college, you're not working. We get it. They didn't know they were getting charged interest. Half, 3/4 of them. I had a Parent Plus loan. That shit was crazy. One month I paid $14 in interest. Another month I could pay $42 in interest. And it's supposed to be a fixed rate. That's how crazy that student loan, some of them companies are. I took advantage. I got rid of my little debt I took out for my daughter to go to school during this no tax time. But that's not fair to everybody else that didn't go to school. How are you going to tax them? Because that's where they're going to get the money to forgive it, through taxes. So they're going to put that on the American taxpayer. So the one that didn't go to school, that never took out a loan and went to work because they knew they couldn't afford it, now he's going to pay for somebody else's choices? Nah, bro. You either take that money and you divvy it out and you let them, everybody in the U.S., like you did stimulus money, and you let us decide whether we're going to pay that debt. That way that money gets spent back into our economy. The other point is, if we're going to do that, then when are we going to start helping the farmers that we've kicked out basically out into the weeds with bare minimum? Because that 18-year-old kid decided to get some land and farm some food, take out loans for the house and the farm and everything. I mean, are you going to help them? You're going to pay off their loans? I mean, what's next? At what level do you stop paying off or paying for other people's decisions when you had nothing to do with it?
I think it's in the playbook, man. The socialism playbook.
Yes.
You start
It's like,
you start giving, erasing, and what does that make an individual? More dependent on the government,
yes,
you know?
yes. That's a straight. You can even look that in history. That Venezuela down south. You
Yep.
can look at Cuba. You can see all the places where it didn't work and it basically destroyed itself. But once again, we just slowly let it go away because that's fine. Just like gun control right now, it went to 21. Everybody's like, okay, because timing. Guess what? I put it in right when there was a mass shooting. They picked the right time to slip them bills in. The
Yeah.
politicians ain't stupid neither.
No, of course
They're
not,
not
brother.
stupid. They're playing. They're back there. I'm telling you that economic committee. I think they're back there. They're looking at the formation, right? Oh, linebackers are on their front feet. Everybody's on their fingertips on the line.
Well,
So you
all
sitting
right,
there making
coach.
that audible. You making that audible for the tight end or something. That's what they're doing with the economy. And then they just slip it into taxes. That's why we just keep paying more. But you got to start teaching accountability at some point. We are grown. That's another thing with the life skills thing. You're an adult. You're responsible for your choices, your words, your actions. We don't hold each other accountable. We kept letting them take a little bit away, then they're take it all away.
Shit, Donnie. Case in point, and I'll call the idiot, and the idiot is me. Um, but you have to understand my lifestyle from the age of 18 for a little while was the military. So all I was interested is fixing tanks and blowing shit up.
Okay.
And the Federal Reserve Board, I never knew it was not part of the government. It never interested me.
Oh,
But I tell you what, if I would have heard that in high school, affiliated with dollar signs, I would have paid attention.
yes,
I would have paid attention.
yes. And that's another way we fix college. Let's talk about college. Do we really need to go anymore? Do we really need to go? For some things, doctors, lawyers, some science,
Specialized.
specialized stuff. Yes, I understand a college degree, but business, marketing, degrees, engineering. Nah, I don't know about engineering, but like drawing, I don't know what they call it now, but artistical type degrees.
Crayons.
Yeah, a degree in liberal arts. Okay, do you really need a degree to know liberal arts? No,
I
that's
I
nothing
I
more than English in that. And make more vocational schools. Do STEM programs for engineers, for
wait, Donnie,
medical.
Donnie. Before you go any further, well, the vocational schools. We'll talk about this next, but let me just rebut on um, jobs. Are college needed for jobs? Uh, and this goes through my little experience as a recruiter in the army. And I always loved putting a GED kid in. First, they score better on the ASVAB, and they're ready to do something with their life because they failed in high school. But
Yeah,
the Army looked at these GED kids as, they quit high school, they're going to quit on us in the Army.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
some of the
yeah,
smartest
no,
people I know got
no,
GEDs.
but the point, and I just wanted to tickle that a little. Employers look for in future employees with further education, and it solidifies their checks they're doing, that they'll have the kid for a good 4 to 6 years because he did it in college. That's it, man. All they're looking at is the kid made a commitment. Maybe
Yeah,
he'll make a little commitment with us,
yeah,
because I got a niece and she's very successful. She's a ball buster with the brains, but she was telling me that it's known for their generation. I don't know what generation it is. She's in her mid 20s. That these kids will. It's known for them to do 3 to 5 years in an organization and move on. You don't see that one day to day 20 with organizations. Another
yeah.
thing I
No,
wanted to point out.
right,
You,
Demas.
you
Okay,
wait a minute. Wait a minute. You would collapse a part of the financial institution from colleges.
I ain't worried about that.
All they are is money making machines, man. You know, the liberals will always talk, we give too much to the military. We give too much to the military. And I'm being honest, I hear this every day. But when you talk about education, taking anything away, both hands are up in the air, ready to fight.
Okay, I could care less about colleges. I really could. I could care less about their endowments and how they make their money because you just rob everybody that goes there. Damn near everybody goes there. All I see is you taking money away from them and crushing an economy. I'm gonna promote vocational schools for everything I can. I'm gonna make a smarter workforce. So yeah, okay. I get this kid. He's 20 years old. He went to this vocational school. That's the same commitment as 4 years. He
Yeah.
still made a commitment to accomplish something. That's what you
Hey,
just said. That's the same thing, Demas. Same thing.
hey, no, no, hear me out.
So
So bottom line is, when a kid selects something in college, it's something he wants to do in his life.
right.
And this is not, it's not a specialized field. We worked in Temple, Texas, me and you. And you remember the little gentleman Kevin F. You remember
Yes.
him, right?
Yes.
His younger son said, he told his younger son, he's like, "Hey, where do you want me to send you? You want to go to college like your brother, because his brother
Yeah, I know.
became an attorney, or do you want me
Right.
to take you to underwater welding school?" And he
Right.
says, "Look, underwater welding school, you'll make 120 starting off. A lawyer, you're going to have to work for a corporation, and you're probably going to make 100,000. You pick the choice." And that, and I'm saying this because that underwater welder does not need that college education,
No.
and
And that's
I
why I'm
agree with
saying,
that.
yeah, I'm gonna get rid of. I don't want you to go to college for that. I'm gonna promote that through a vocational school. Make it fit. Get them like accredited at a higher level because you passed this certain federal level or something. So
But
you get better accreditation for your vocational school. Just like a nurse. That the one thing that all vocational schools will teach would be business etiquette, email etiquette, because The underwater welder probably has to send some emails nowadays.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got to teach that. You're going to teach some, college level English, right? If you're a vocational school and you can add this curriculum, then you get certified to a federal level, maybe. You get more federal dollars for your program, right? So you incorporate
Yes.
English. You got to do algebra. And it's not for the math. I don't give a shit. A nurse doesn't need to know how to do a matrices or how to graph something, Well, maybe the graphs they do, but I'd rather a nurse know my body weight count so they know the right amount of, medicine or whatever to give me. I want them to know that like they know the back of their hand or whatever, right? That's the kind of stuff I want to eliminate in college too. Get these degree programs a little more settled. Because algebra, the basic problem solving skills that are involved in algebra, yes, we need that. We need to teach that. You need to be able to eliminate variables and simplify processes. That makes it easier for you to learn. I get that. So I want that in a vocational school. You can add those three things and maybe a science class, you get federal dollars now. And that will dim down colleges. That will bring down the price of colleges because they're losing students. I mean, that's one way you can attack the colleges. That's how you can make the whole program better because now I'm putting out a more educated workforce at a younger age.
Donnie.
They're more productive.
Can
I agree. I agree with that. Go ahead, D.
No, please. Can I get this rebuttal?
Go ahead.
Donnie.
Yeah.
Any major university, private, not state funded and state regulated. But
okay.
You look at their homepage and go to their leadership. Pick out of the top 5, the chancellor, vice chancellor, admin secretary, all that stuff. Just go to one of the chancellors. Highlight their name, right click, search Google for that individual. You will see how tied up an individual at that level is with money. The board of governors of this, the board of governors of that, the board of governors of this.
Right.
You can't that's a gigantic mafia, Donnie. Shoot down education.
What about
no?
I don't give a shit.
No,
I don't.
No, Donnie. No,
I don't care.
Listen. What about these huge colleges that their sports alone, their college football, they make billions of dollars?
They don't.
You're going to tell me they can't cut costs? What? They don't what?
They don't make billions. They make millions.
No, they make billions.
No.
Yeah. The double A, NC, and the CA, they make billions of dollars.
The NCAA may make billions off marketing deals, but not all of that goes directly to certain programs. That gets spread around the entire NCAA and NAIA, junior colleges, all them schools affiliated. All that money gets spread around. So it doesn't just go to all one place. When you're talking about sports teams, yes, Alabama makes a hell of a money every football year. They make, I don't know what kind of money. And they bring the SEC, Georgia, all that. They make money, for their schools. That's great. But that's because we buy the tickets, we buy the merchandise, we buy the hats. I mean, that's on us, man. You can't blame that on the school.
But with your plan, with
you can take some of that money and add it to college tuitions and stuff.
No, it's the profit, man. That's profit,
that's the thing,
and it's profit for a handful.
Okay, I understand what it is.
I understand, Demas.
But no, you're gonna break down the school. And I'm glad Blaze chimed in. I don't know where he was at. He left us alone and shit. But you gotta break up the NCAA, Donnie.
Whatever. They're just as crooked as everybody else. All the courts have shown that. Who cares?
That's the sectors.
I don't care about that, Demas. I don't. I really don't. I don't care. Because guess what? No, Demas, guess what? I'm not taking away from that. Just like Biden has went electric and asked the auto industry to change tactics and get ready for the future, right?
Uh-huh.
Who's to say the college industry? Why can't I tell you the same damn thing? Everybody else has to get ready for the future. Why aren't colleges?
Because they're
Why
more
aren't they held
powerful.
to the same
They're
standard?
more
I don't
powerful.
care.
They're more powerful.
But how do you change that, Demas? You got to, if you want to change it and you want to get better, you do better at the vocational, the high school level. Kids don't need to go to college and earn those. They can earn certifications now. And the thing you talked about, they stay 3 to 5 years. Yeah, a lot of employers now look at, this guy went to some podunk college in Southwest Community College, and he's got a degree in underwater basket weaving.
Oh, underwater.
Right? Okay, but and he just got out of school. But I got this other kid that's been underwater basket weaving, or like you said, underwater welding. He's been doing it for 3 years, and he's got a certification from a top vocational school that I recognize in the industry, right? Yep. I'm taking that kid that's got 3 years of experience, and he was at the vocational school over that kid that just got out of school and got a bachelor's degree in underwater welding. I'm taking that kid with the experience because why? He's going to be more productive. I don't have to teach him. He knows the company's, way of doing business. He understands the processes. He's familiar with the environment, the company environment, our policies, our procedures. Hell yeah, I'm taking that kid.
But wait a minute. So I'm that same employer, and I took that kid, but I see another applicant. Just did 4 years in the Army. He's a wheel mechanic. He has no schooling, but he's eager to learn. And he's got the words to back it up. His eagerness to learn. Are you going to hire him?
If
Donnie,
it's the
are you going
same
to hire him?
situation, if it's the same situation like Donnie said, I'm going with the person with the experience.
But the guy's got no experience. Like, so that
exactly. I'm sorry. Just because he was in the Army, I'm taking the other kid from the tech school.
No, but what Demas is saying is get the guy from the tech school out of the picture. Just replace the guy from the tech school with a kid that's willing to learn and is eager and is a little bit desperate. No, that's what you're saying, Demas, right?
No, he's disciplined.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He just got out of the service.
Yep.
He's eager to learn. He doesn't have much education, but he worked his ass off in the service as a 63 Bravo, a light wheel mechanic.
And he made E5 then. And you being a veteran, you're like, whoa, he did his shit,
All right, okay. Now we're putting people. Now we're putting people in positions. Wait, come on, Donnie. Now we're putting people in
this is a position in reality right now, Blaze.
Yes.
This is a position out in the world.
That owns the company a veteran. He just threw that in there.
Blaze, we're not talking about company owner veteran. We're talking about you're an employer and you're looking at two people you want to hire.
You get Donnie mad, boys.
This is the reality now. This is a real life situation out in our economy. You got a kid that's got a degree. He's got a bachelor's degree in underwater welding, or some bullshit ass liberal arts, some generic degree, right? Like, maybe a degree in business management.
So let's stay with that.
He's got a degree in business management. But I got this other kid that was a leader in the Army for a little bit. He's eager to learn, maybe a little desperate because he just got out and he's hunting for a job. You know what? I'm taking that E5 just because he's willing to learn, the eagerness to learn. Because this kid over here in college, this is another reason I don't like college. He's got bad habits. He's got bad habits because he listened to people saying my experience, but they're not out in the real world. They're just reading books. Or they're reading, history from the past, and it doesn't relate to what goes on in our world right now. So that's why I'd rather go.
And I agree with you 1,000%.
That's what I'm saying.
I had said pretty much the exact same thing last show. You know what I mean? You're going to go with someone with experience. Having a bachelor's degree nowadays means fucking shit. That's 2 years of college.
No, 4.
That's 4 years
What's
of college.
The one for 2 years?
That's an associate's degree.
That's
the same as a certification. But that's what I'm saying. A bachelor's degree is so watered down, it ain't nothing anymore. And there's so many online. I went to an online school because it fit for me going to, with the Army and doing the military. It fit. It's a nationally accredited school. It's not some big name school. I had to do a lot of writing, and doing that one check tool that lets you know if you're plagiarizing. I had to do a lot of that shit, but I got a degree, but it ain't worth shit. It's just a piece of paper. Don't mean nothing, really.
Right. I agree.
So that's what I'm saying. It's so watered down. We need to figure that out. And I will bleed that off, some of that off into vocational schools and you can get that vocational credit in 2 years, 18 months, sometimes a year. That's just that much quicker. I put a more productive,
So I
more
think we're
smarter,
both in agreement.
educated people and workforce, so be more productive longer. That's my big picture.
I think
Donnie.
we're both in more of agreement as far as I don't think they should get their debt paid.
No,
I don't think there should be a burden on the taxpayers.
So why should that vocational school student, when he gets out, pay for that lawyer that's going to school that's going to charge him $300 an hour for initial consult? Why
For what?
why does that truck driver that's driving I-95 moving oranges from Florida to Massachusetts, so you guys can have your squeezed orange juice? It, why should that truck driver pay for that kid's college?
no.
You know,
No,
this,
I don't think so.
no. This administration's got this fantasy of, like you bring it up on the Blaze and Miss Tammy show. The genie. Oh, let's get rid of student debt.
Right.
Oh, it's canceled. No,
Right.
there's ramifications for this. You fucking numbnuts.
Right.
Ah, man, I
Right.
am so disappointed in this administration, man. I really am, man.
Why?
And
Why? It doesn't even really matter with the administration, because as far as my learning and my watching through other presidents' administration, why does the educational system in this country constantly get shit on? They never have money for education. They got money for everything else. Again, last week we talked about this. They got millions and millions of dollars to send over to fucking Ukraine. They got, billions of dollars to give to this country, and they just shit on the United States educational system. I mean, do you think at some point, after a while, we're just going to keep filing out fucking dumb students? Go.
No. It's no, man. What did you just say? Let me hear that again.
I said after a while we're just going to keep filing out graduating fucking kids that are stupid. Why is it that we shit on the education system here? I don't understand what's funny or what you're trying to make a joke of.
No, I'm not trying to make a joke of. No, you sound like a Democrat, and I'm just trying to. Because you sounded like a Democrat. No, but
okay,
hear
then
me out.
say that. Go ahead, go.
A state or a commonwealth does not want, and this is what Davos was fighting with the states, and obviously the blue states, is that the states don't want the government tell them what to teach, but they want the money.
Right.
Come on,
right.
man. No. So a property tax bill anywhere, your first entry is probably for your school sector or your school district or whatever they call it. There's your money there, and then you add it all up. It comes out to a budget, but we overspend.
Yep.
At the grown-up level, we overspend. Crickets, silence.
No.
Oh, that's concurrence.
That is concurrence, because you're right. We do overspend.
Yes,
we overspend, and then we come back and we keep saying why we always need more, and nobody's held accountable when we overspend. It's just whatever.
Yep.
We overspend. No, you got to go figure out where you overspend.
No, Donnie.
But
wait a minute, Donnie. I'm doing a Washington politician. Catch me off.
Come on, D. I mean,
shut up.
Look, I just think it's crazy, guys. And ladies and gentlemen, stick around for more of the retardedness of the rabbit hole right now. Look, the education in this country is fucking shit. We all know that. Could we all agree on that before we go to break?
No, it is shit. We need to try to do better and educate our workforce better.
And are we just graduating kids to just get them out of the school system?
Yes. Yeah, I think that happens.
Yes.
I think that really happens. That's sad.
Yeah.
All right,
but you know something? I hope they at the end of the school year where they're making that decision, I would hope they would have a talk about that student you know, and we'll just say John Lesbo. His name comes up. Is it the teacher that forges the numbers, or do they actually, hey, let's help this kid out? Let's talk. You know what I mean? Or it's just a check mark. And I think it's just a freaking check mark.
It is just
For
a
sure.
check
Check
mark.
mark.
Why
Give
even
me
have
my
a
thing.
fucking
Give me my
guidance
money.
counselor? What does the guidance
Check
counselor
mark.
get paid?
Check mark. Give me my money. Check mark.
Yeah,
Give me my money.
that's it. We'll be back with more of the rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. We're the three of us are getting a little bit steamed here because what we're talking about, in our opinion, is just bullshit. The educational system in this country is bullshit. And with that being said, we will be right back with more of the rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking around for more of the Rabbit Hole with yours truly, Blaizeman, Mr. D, and Mr. Donnie. I mean, I think, guys, that we got as much off of our chest about education as we possibly could tonight. And it's just, I mean, look, if the three of us like had some kind of way where we could sit in a room and maybe get another smarter guy in there with us, then we can actually figure out how to fix the education system. And I think that's to just give them money. They need the money. They just need the money. I mean, they don't even give out books anymore, D and Donnie. Like we used to go to school, the
Yeah,
books
man.
were free or whatever the situation may be, and you can't even get that now.
So once
You
again,
know,
why is college so expensive then if I can do it all electronically? Why the hell I gotta pay for a book or whatever?
You
right?
know,
No,
I was
don't.
no Blaze. I was going to ask Donnie because it seems like you were ready to roll out of the education. You got it off your chest. But my question to Donnie: do you got anything left in your backpack, sir?
I'm a backpack.
Yeah, about
Well,
an
and
education.
when it comes to education, I'm pretty much only way that college loan stuff's gonna happen because like I say, my Parent Plus loan I took advantage and I paid that off. So no, we're not giving money away. But to fix the education process, we got to minimize it, or demand has to slow down. So if we do stuff to get them more educated coming out of high school towards a certain degree program, or we open up a little more to the vocational side, that's the only way we're gonna do it because that creates competition. Competition brings demand or brings supply down. I mean, it balances it out. So we got to create competition.
In education.
Yep.
Competition, and I think we do have it at the higher level, i.e., colleges and universities. But no, I would like to see it more competitive at the local level, and that's what these charter schools are doing,
Yep.
and that's why I support them, man.
I just think that the charter school gives a better education than regular public school.
Yes,
I do.
Depends
but
on where you're at.
I've seen it. I've seen it
yeah,
happen with some of my nieces and nephews. I've seen it happen.
It depends on
I
where
mean,
you're at because why?
one of my nieces and nephew went to fucking public school and graduated. Can't even fucking read.
Yeah,
The
but
other one that
hey,
graduated from charter school is like way so advanced. Tomorrow,
like, Blaze, in all fairness to all the public schools, the quality of school dials down to money and property taxes and how much they collect. Let's be
right?
honest.
Yeah,
So
I, mean, I
we need to
agree.
divide that money somehow and even out that playing field too.
So why is charter school getting the proper money that they need to give a
Because it's
child the
private
proper
and
education and
parents
public
pay
school
for
isn't?
their kid to be there. Parents
and
pay the school directly for their kid to be there. That's why.
No, not all, not all. Okay,
no, Donnie, no,
some are like
a voucher
yeah,
form.
yeah,
You
Okay,
can
but
go to the
still,
public school systems, and we'll keep the money, or we'll cut it to a charter
right,
school.
right,
Hey,
still, but
listen,
they have the money to
listen.
pay for it.
LeBron went to a Catholic high school.
Well,
Why
okay,
did he go to a Catholic high school? To be
money.
protected. To be protected for them 4 years, man.
Okay,
They recognized him at a young talent, and what do? They educate him. Hey, when you hear LeBron, he he can hold a good conversation on anything, man.
I know.
And
I'm
he
not doubting the man's
and
intelligence.
he's no, and I'm going to jump on your camel with you, but I'm driving now. Uh,
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Let me hear it.
you hanging on? No, but LeBron, he's got what the hell they call that, honorary degrees from universities. But
Right.
LeBron never went to go further his education. He got a good background. That background
No,
you were talking about, Donnie.
that's where I was going to go with you on it. He got an education. He got an education
Yeah,
in life,
yeah,
and he got an education the hard way from the school of hard knocks type stuff. He actually learned it as he go. And
yeah.
business savvy. This is where I talk about a business degree, like the MBA I got. Do you really need that to look what your prime example right there, LeBron? Everything
Yeah.
business sense, the tequila company, the endorsement deals, all that stuff.
Part owner of the Boston Red Sox with
Yes,
the Fenway Group.
yes. Guess who was in the main one of the big main guys in the negotiation process? LeBron himself.
Yes,
And
sir.
the whole way through, he wasn't just pawning it off on people. Yeah, maybe at first when he was first in his career and he was younger, because he brought his, what I understand, he brought 3 or 4 of his friends with him, real tight friends, and those guys are really smart on business too, because they got business streets, or street smarts. You know what I mean? They had business on the streets and they turned it into the straight legit stuff, and they made LeBron rich. But he learned along the way. So that's where I'm talking about vocational or other stuff. Why do we need a college degree for some things? It's not needed. You know?
So on that note, Blaze and Donnie, I tried leading again. I'm at a genius level 3 right now.
Oh wow.
Leading our next segment
To
to
right, Donnie.
Brittany.
We're always at nines, bro.
Yeah, right. Uh, Leading to Brittany Griner and the comment Mr. LeBron James made about her captivity in Russia. Uh, to I can't remember verbatim, but he made the comment is basically when she gets released, why would she come back to America? And how does that ring your little bell there, Donnie? Your patriotic
You,
bell, that is.
you, you don't like it? Feel free to leave.
But no,
Nobody's required to stay in the United States. There's other countries where you're required to stay there. They have different restrictions. Feel free to go over there and enjoy them personally yourself. I have no problem with that. And then you'll come back here and understand what liberties we do have and maybe start to understand how they're being taken away. Because I understand what LeBron was trying to put pressure on. I get it. He's trying to help. But sometimes when you help, you just stick your foot in your mouth a little bit and
yeah.
it gets blown out of proportion. And maybe it got blown out of proportion here. You know what I
There's
mean?
only yeah,
But
there's only been one, and that's
yeah,
Muhammad Ali.
right. So, they're not, just keep talking, whatever. But if
No,
you
no,
think it's that
with the
bad,
Muhammad Ali, what I'm trying to say, I'm talking about a successful activist from the sports
right, right,
world. You know,
right,
Muhammad Ali was loved by a lot of people,
right,
and he
right,
moved shit, and he made a lot of good points, especially when it came to
right,
Vietnam.
right.
But this whole Brittany Griner thing really strikes a nerve with me because she would lead the kneel protests at WNBA games, and then I did a little more research on her. Her grandfather was a Vietnam veteran, and I'm like, shit, man, and why would you do that?
But
You know, but
that's
now, no, she was
Well,
kneeling for all
Vietnam
the injustice.
veterans,
No, hear me out. I'm not done. Please give me the courtesy. Um, the kneeling stuff, that's a nail biter to me and to many other veterans, man, and law enforcement. You know, folks that have died for this country, and here she is kneeling, and she wants all this attention. Let me go, and you know what's even crazier is that they're negotiating an international arms dealer. His name is Mr. Bogut. They made movies on him already and all.
that.
And what a shame that we would let somebody go like that for anybody.
she got busted because she got
Yeah,
busted bringing marijuana to another
and she
country.
knew that. And Donnie, before I give the mic back to you, sir, remember we went to a lot of foreign countries, Donnie, and we obeyed their rules under the Statuses of Forces Agreement. So don't give her a cop out, man. All right, she knew what the hell what she was
She
doing.
doesn't
And
deserve anything.
and Donnie, I throw it to you, my friend.
Okay, well, I understand what LeBron was saying, and he has a good point. But a lot of people don't understand what I read on with her from back before this ever happened about female basketball overseas and stuff. She's been playing in Russia for longer than she's been playing in the States because there wasn't available to her. So she lives in Russia already. So she might well just stay in Russia. Hell, she might just stay. She's been there for like 10 years.
And I
So
think
don't forget that.
I
But
think she makes more money there.
and she does. She makes up into the millions over there in Russia.
Yep.
So
Okay, so that's
let's go with that a
beside
little bit. No, hold on,
right.
Blaze.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's go with that a little bit. So to kind of what LeBron, when he first said it was going at, if we'd have had a little better equality, or we'd have, on the sports level for men and women or anything like that, then maybe she wouldn't even have to go there in the first place. That's what he was maybe trying to get at. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
it doesn't sound like it to me if you read what he said.
Huh?
It doesn't sound like that's what he meant by
on the
reading
first
this article.
statement. The first statement he made about not having to go over there in the first place before, when he did this to cover up the first one.
Okay, I agree with him on that statement. So what changed his mind to start coming out and talking like this now? You know, these athletes, guys, can I get a word in here? Between the both of you, it's like, stop. Look, the bottom line here is that these athletes are unfucking grateful, especially LeBron James and every one of them that want to talk fucking shit about the United States, but they don't mind putting that money from the people from the United States that buy their jerseys, that go to their games, that, you know what I mean? Just anything in general that has to do with them, putting that goddamn money in the bank. Okay? If you want to sit there and give her feedback, or I can't remember the word, or advice, there it is, on, you shouldn't even come back to America. Well, then let her fucking stay there. You know what, LeBron? Why don't you go to Russia too and see if you're going to make $104 million for 5 years playing basketball out there, guys? I'm sorry. I'm getting pissed because I'm so tired of this fucking shit from these athletes and their mouths. You know, Donnie, you was on a point where about her kneeling. You know what I mean? But now you want to sit there and you're scared shit because you're in a Russian jail that is nothing like a jail in America. If you talk to some Russian inmates, they would sit there and say, I'll gladly fucking do 20 years in an American jail. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, excuse me, I'm just tired of it, guys. I'm just tired of it. Go ahead.
You can say that that's being ungrateful all you want to, and there's truth to that. There's very few people that sit there and say how disgusting and terrible America is or Americans are, but they ain't got the courage or the financial abilities to just unass and go over there. So they're just talking out their ass, you know what I'm saying? Or not. Right. If it's so bad, then do something about it. Do something to change it then. To quit talking and do something. When it comes to Grinder, and that goes for anybody else that leaves the United States, guess what? You're in another country, man. You're in a foreign country. Guess what? The rules of the United States no longer apply to you. Unless, like Demas said, if you have some kind of agreement like we did for a forces agreement that, would say, hey, if something happens, well, they come back to us for any kind of punishment.
Yeah, basically, if we ran over some civilians, they couldn't prosecute us.
Right.
The Army.
That's what that does. But if we didn't have that, we'd have been under their laws. And you're going to another country. Guess what? You go to their prison. You got to know that before you start taking it. And that goes back to my point about her. Stop. Wait, Blaze. It goes back to my point about her living in Russia for 10 years. You knew this. Yes. Don't come out here and woe was me. And hell, get me out of here. When you knew this going in, you lived in that country. Don't play dumb now. So should she go to jail for it for 10 years? Probably not. I don't think so. But that's Russian law. You should have known that. And
right. And you understand that Russia, right. Right. And everyone understands that Russia knows, she's an American citizen, you know what I mean? And all of this stuff like that. So let's play the games. Well, my next question I have is U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has said Washington will continue to work for the release of Grinder, as well as other Americans held by Moscow, including former Marine Paul Whelan. Okay, guys. I knew a little bit about this guy, right? But how many other Americans does Russia have in jail? Because I'll tell you what, guys, I didn't know anything about it except a little bit of this Marine gentleman. You know what I mean? So, if this woman didn't get in trouble for anything, would we have ever heard of any of these other Americans, and even about the Marine? D, you can take this one.
No, I've heard of the Marine.
I have a
I
little bit. I have a little
yeah,
bit.
I
I mean,
no, and the reason why it's coming up is because we got a more valuable token here. Like when you're playing chess, the tower, the king,
Well, we
all
got a
that
more
bullshit.
valuable token and a black
Yes,
woman and a black
yes,
woman.
and a LGBTQX.
Exactly. So let's
The
be
strap on.
let's be truthful.
oh yeah, be honest. It's a political move that Russia's making as well. Russia's making a
Absolutely.
move because they want something back, and we got something nice that they want. This happens
Hey,
all the time. It just doesn't get publicized. The only reason this is publicized is because Russia put it out there in the first place on their end of the spectrum of the world. They put it out there on the public on their end because they wanted this talk. That brought us to the table. Her getting arrested brought us to the table. I would be willing to bet money on that.
You
So
think so,
Russia's like,
huh?
hey, I
That
want this
the
guy. Yes. Oh yes. This is
Blaze.
so political. It's not even funny because you had the GM from the team she plays for, and like a lot of the teammates go in there and be like, "Really? There's no way she was bringing that for any kind of distribution. She's gonna do all that for her or whatever, right? You know what I
She
mean?
she got convicted as a dealer.
Well, they were trying to charge her with that or some shit when I was first hearing about it, but they were like, "There's no way you can't put that on somebody like that."
So
But
my
you got her
question is,
GM and you got everybody coming in talking in her favor to the judge from that area that knows her. So that tells me it's more of a political play at this point than anything. Somebody's moving something on the little board of chess and they're trying to get an asset, man.
Blaze, if you were under Putin's command as director of prisons, would you execute Brittany Grinder?
would I execute her? No, I
Yes.
wouldn't execute her.
What
She
what
brought a
would your
little bit of weed
recommendation?
into the country, but I wouldn't execute her.
What would be her punishment?
Whatever the law was for my country, that would be her punishment.
That's a good answer, brother. That's a good
Okay,
answer.
so I mean,
It's political at this point, man. I really think it's political. Russia's got to keep
it
their
has
bond.
to be, Donnie. I
I'll
agree
be
with you
honest
on
with
that.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know nothing about the Marine until the Brittany Grinder and it got mixed in together. I didn't know about the Marine being held over
I
there.
heard a little
So,
tiny
yeah,
bit
it's
about
political now.
like 3 weeks ago about this Marine that was there. Okay,
Well,
now D, if you wouldn't mind while we're discussing here, how many other American hostages are in Russia?
Um,
Because I'm
damn it.
curious.
Oh, there's probably. Oh, well, we got that one trader. We can grab him back.
Yeah,
No.
Snowden.
well, nah,
No,
that's
stay over there, dude.
let's save that
Hey,
for another
Okay.
show. Let's save
nah,
that for another show.
he's Putin's prisoner. You can't touch
Yeah.
that one.
He requested asylum over there. You can stay over there, dude. Like I say, all the people that talk trash about America and how bad it is, go to a foreign country and live for a while and see how really bad it
Yes.
is. A lot of
They'll
them
never,
become
they'll
bad.
never
Have
do
the courage
that.
to go.
What about in the
Have the courage to
beginning? What about in the beginning of Trump's presidency? How many celebrities came out and everybody under the sun? Oh, I'm moving to Canada. I'm doing this, and none of them made a move to do nothing because it's all CHIT that comes out of their gosh darn mouth. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's all it is. It's all it is, guys.
Yeah, it's
Okay?
all BS. But once again, though, that doesn't explain where LeBron was just showing support. So you can get mad at him all you want to, but he was just showing support. And to go back to your comment about ungrateful and how they trash America, all I got to say to that is you're welcome. You're welcome for the
Oh,
blood, sweat, and tears that have been spilled to give you that freedom of speech. You're welcome.
but
But hey, if it's that bad, feel free to go elsewhere.
why are we not like the folks of the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, where a person talks shit in a bar about this country, there was a fight happening. Now you're gonna get a blog, you probably get a vlog, you get a conversation. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. They're going to take out education, and I don't want to bounce back on it, Donnie. You
No,
know,
we're
and
taking away little by little.
yep. And what Trump wanted to do is with his secretary is oh man, talking about Trump, little moment of silence, Blaze. Breaking news: Ivanka
Yeah,
Trump
his
passed
ex-wife.
away.
Yeah, his
Yep,
ex-wife.
But
73.
but this whole Brittany Grinder deal, it's all political. It's a political move at this point because I'm pretty sure she's fairly safe in Russia,
Oh
and
yes,
it's
oh yes,
political at this point,
yes.
and somebody's got to give up something.
I mean,
So it
look,
doesn't matter how long
look,
it goes.
look,
It just sucks.
and look at the clothing she's wearing.
I know,
It's not like she's in prison garb and
I
stuff.
know, I know.
It's
But once again, it goes back to you know the rules, and if you're over there overseas and you're at that level, come on, man. Let's be more street savvy, more business streets. Get somebody else to get it for you. I'm pretty sure you can get it. Get it over there in the country. Don't try to fly with it. Come on, man.
yeah,
Hey, that's just the Europe and everybody's else. The rest of the world's outlook on like marijuana and recreational drugs is a lot different than the United States. It's a Depending on what country you go to, it may be easier. You might just be able to walk down to the local dispensary. Hey, bro, let me get that bud right there and roll it up.
Right.
Donnie.
I mean, come on, let's be real.
This country is so divided. I think it's more divided pre-Civil War era.
No, but I'm just saying.
No, because
It
eventually
is.
brother and brother
No,
started killing one another, bro.
Yeah, it
no,
seems like it's
no.
going that way, but I don't think it'll ever go that way because there's too many groups that. No, believe it or not, there's too much diversity in some groups for that to happen, i.e., veterans.
I agree.
There's just too much diversity in that because I don't care what you say. We can talk trash about our army days and where it was bad and whatnot. But when it come to stuff, and you saw it in the clock a few times eating breakfast or whatever, people start getting a little rowdy and look around. You see a veteran shirt, you start paying a little more attention because you're like,
Yes,
whoa,
sir.
hey, you know what I mean? So I think there's too much for that. It'll never get back to Civil War, but yes, we are starting to slowly get divided on a lot of stuff.
So D, who do you think pushed more of the narrative of diversity?
Diversity in what, please?
You think the Obama administration started it, and the Biden administration's finishing it off?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah,
Just
definitely.
like anything else, the Democrats are looking at the political playbook and they're looking up and they're seeing that the field. They're, like I say, they're reading safeties, looking at people's toes, looking at their feet, which way they're open, and they're just calling audibles. And guess what? Brittany Grinder coming up like that, that's a great play that I can push for a political vote. What you just talked about, another great playing field I can push for a vote.
Right. Good fucking point,
It's right
Donnie.
at the time, right around midterms. So yeah,
Right.
they'll get something
Right.
done. She'll come home.
All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead, D. Got it real quick.
No, no. What I just wanted to add what Donnie said on. Damn it, I forgot, man. This sucks. What were
That's
you
all
saying,
right.
Donnie?
Man,
Yeah, and
by
I got
Brittany
it right
Grinder
here.
coming home. Political
And I-
play.
Refresh him, Donnie, real quick.
It's a political play. It's right around voting time. The stuff
Got
Blaze
it.
was just
Got it.
talking about.
Got it.
Brittany Grinder
Got it.
coming
Got
home.
it.
That's
Got it.
votes, baby.
And Donnie, thank you for the rewind. I'll hit play now. Um, it's going to be a big red wave in November, and
I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, the only thing the Republicans need to come up with is an answer to abortion. Um, that's the only thing that's hurting their playbook right now.
Well,
the
before we
Democrats-
before we go to this last break of the evening, I just wish that the Republicans would get off their ass and start doing something instead of talking something. That's all I got to say about that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for the last break of the rabbit hole for tonight, and when we come back, we're gonna have some fun, and the boys are going to enjoy a couple of these things that I'm going to throw up there, and then it's just going to open up a can of a whole bunch of shit. So I know my boys are eager as well. So we'll be right back. Stick around for the last half hour of the rabbit hole. Don't go anywhere. Hey everybody, welcome back to the last half hour of the rabbit hole with yours truly, Blaizeman, Mr. D, and Mr. Donnie. We hope that you're having a good time and you're enjoying the show, and we're making some kind of sense of some things to make some people in this country think about it than just the three of us here, you know. So with that being said, here we go, guys. No comments until everything's all done, and then we'll go at it. Okay, fellas? All right now.
Let's see.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, baby. Oh, shit.
Okay, guys, pay attention to the video real good now.
Yes, teacher.
Do we need a little rewind to see that again, gentlemen?
No, that's just real good CGI.
No, it's not. See, I knew that was the first thing that you was going to come out with. Okay.
What is that?
First of all, this is what does it say up the top? Moon crash view from a different location.
Stand
Okay?
with Ukraine.
So more than one person videotaped this on their phones. Okay? So if you want, one of you can explain what you're seeing to the audience here. I've watched this quite a few times. And I see an object, a white object coming through the sky and crashing into the moon.
It's a Johnson.
So people are trying to UFO, rocket, all of that stuff like that. So just trying to get your opinion on that. But we'll watch this one more time, and then I'm going to go and put another one up, and then we can discuss for the rest of the show.
Well, I'm just waiting for you to admit that you pretty much admit the moon is within our solar system because you keep talking all that crap.
Well, of course the moon is in our solar system, Donnie, but we'll just have to wait.
Wait a minute.
No.
Blaze, shut the video off because we got a lot of feedback. Hello?
That better?
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah.
Nah, Blaze, you argued about when I said that the moon's within our solar system, our atmosphere, 2 weeks ago. You said no, you wanted to argue me it's not. You thought I was crazy. Now you admit it? So
no, I never said that. I never said that. I never agreed. I never agreed with you to say that the Earth was in our lower orbit. Our moon is out of our orbit. Everything that's floating around right now is in our orbit.
Okay,
the discussion was that we can't get to the moon because of the Van Belt and the radiation and all of that stuff.
Blaze, everything within our orbit is below that radiation belt.
You dumb motherfucker.
The moon isn't in our orbit, bro.
Yes, it is, bro.
What'd you do? What'd you do? Fucking spend, not our orbit. I'm not our
it's within the system.
No shit, it's in the solar system. Fucking Mars is in our solar system. I don't understand what you're saying. We still can't get to it. We still can't get to it.
We can get to the moon.
No, we haven't.
We can get to the moon and not go through them gamma ray, red ray radiation area you're talking about on your
no. The moon is further than that.
1982.
The moon is further than that.
It's further. Milky Way.
No.
Yes, it is. It's further than that.
No, it's not.
They are the space station. The space station is only like a little bit over 100,000 miles away from Earth. The moon is like 240,000 miles.
Thank you, Blaze.
You know, come on, you guys go and read a couple of articles and you have the answer. It's not the answer.
Go play the other
not
video.
The answer.
There's just video evidence that stuff can land on the moon. You just seen it and you still can't admit it. So let's move on.
What stuff that lands on the moon?
Whatever, go.
Come on, it's not whatever, bro. You gotta admit when you're wrong.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna see how you guys take this now. Don't forget to read the top now, so you don't get all confused.
Humanity has made some objects travel at nearly the speed of light. 99.999999% the speed of light. That's so fast that if we race light to the moon with these objects, light would only win by a total of 4 meters. How did we manage to do that? In science fiction, people travel faster than light all the time. But here in reality, physics doesn't let anything go faster than light. In fact, practically, we haven't come anywhere close to that speed. The fastest man-made object in existence, a probe being sent to study the sun, will travel at over 700,000 kilometers an hour. That may sound fast, but light goes at over 1 billion kilometers an hour, so our probe is only traveling at a small fraction of 1% the speed of light. The objects we turn to when we feel the need for this much speed are subatomic particles. Protons are subatomic particles that are present in every atom. They're accelerated to nearly the speed of light by the biggest particle accelerator we've ever built, the Large Hadron Collider, or LHC. The fact that they're charged is the key to making this work. Two positively charged particles will repel each other, same with two negatively charged ones. That's the key to letting us use electromagnetic fields to push these protons around. Let's take a look at how the LHC does this. The LHC isn't an entirely new machine. Instead, it's built out of the bones of every previous particle accelerator built by its operators at CERN. Over the years, CERN has built several of what were the biggest particle accelerators of their time. Now, those earlier accelerators help speed up the protons and put them on the way into the LHC. Protons start off by traveling down a linear tube where electromagnetic fields give them a constant push forward. From there, they enter into a series of loops, with each loop giving a bit more speed to them before they're injected into the 26-kilometer long ring of the LHC. The 26-kilometer long tube is packed with magnets. Some of these magnets help keep the protons moving straight as they head down the tube. Others help impart a bit of a curve so that they go around the circular path of the LHC. The tube carries two sets of protons which run around the ring in opposite directions. They cross paths at several points to create collisions. And there's one spot in the entire ring where protons are given a little kick and sped up. At that location, the protons pass through what's called a resonator. The resonator hosts what you can consider a wave in the electromagnetic field. Things are timed so that a bunch of protons enters the resonator just ahead of a peak in the electromagnetic wave. From there, they surf the peak of the wave across, picking up speed as they do. As the protons exit, the wave reverses and rushes across to the opposite side of the resonator. This lets it push the protons traveling in the opposite direction. By speeding up the rate at which the wave reverses, you can accelerate the protons to ever higher speeds. And by timing the flips carefully, you can use it to accelerate things going in opposite directions. You may have noticed a little problem here, in that protons are a bit like cars. If they keep trying to take a turn ever and ever faster, eventually they'll hit a speed where they can't make the turn and end up flying off the road. So we need something to do a little bit of extra steering each time the protons run through, and that's done by the magnets of the LHC. The magnets have to be adjusted so they're a little stronger each time the protons go through. This keeps them from off course. One consequence of this is that the top speed of the LHC isn't set by the resonator, which doesn't up. Instead, it's set by the magnets that keep things under control in the curves. Another problem you might have noticed is that it said that the LHC deals with bunches of protons, all of which have the same charge. And we mentioned that two positive charges will always repel each other. So why doesn't this repulsion keep the bunches of protons from just flying apart? This problem is solved by Einstein's theory of relativity. One of the consequences of relativity is that if you keep accelerating things near the speed of light, instead of going faster, they'll just get heavier. As a result, the LHC makes the protons more massive as it speeds them up. And as they get more massive, it takes more force to push them around. Just like a bowling ball is harder to push around than a ping pong ball. One consequence of this is that the push that comes from having the protons all be the same charge has less and less of an effect as they get more massive. So accelerators like the LHC one of their problems simply doing their job. All of this adds up to allowing us to bring proton speed that few of us can possibly imagine.
All right, partner.
Okay, fellas. Did you get a little bit of education in how the CERN collider works?
Now I can. I got a genius level going on right now, 1.5.
Say again?
Blaze, you've been watching too much YouTube. I think you need to switch to U-born.
See, this is what I'm talking about, bro.
No,
You can't have a
no,
serious
no,
conversation.
no. Hear me out.
The problem here is
No,
you laugh because of what you don't understand. That's what everybody does. They laugh when they don't understand.
no. And you know something?
That's it.
I've seen this technology already happening with the LHC,
Really?
which could,
Have
listen.
you?
Let me talk. I told you I was
I'm
having a
gonna.
fucking genius level.
Oh my God.
They
Here
they
we
could
go.
they could shrink that LHC down more, and that was part of the new Navy gun rail system, which used that type of concept to extract projectiles out of a tube. All right. So yes, I understand the LHC.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
All right.
I
that
don't
And
think
technology
so,
put in
but
front of our eyes.
hold up. I just got one closeout, okay? Because I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
uh-huh. Sounds
Where
like
you
it.
see you see where the proteins,
Ooh, watch out. Demons knows what he's talking about.
you see where the protons exit. That's called the anus.
Okay. Okay. Oh, demons. No, that
Oh,
technology's been,
Donnie.
some of that theory has been here in our eyes. When you look at a telephone pole and you see them cables and you see that loop in them cables, that's the theory right there, so they can get faster speeds on your internet. So if
Yes.
you really want to do that, that's your internet speed right there. That's how that works, traveling. Because there's data going to your computer, data going back on the same cable. That and they've been using that.
Pretty. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's how they do that. That's, you can thank NASA for all that technology, what they got from when they brought stuff going to the moon. But we'll go to that again another time, Blaze. I understand.
Yes.
We'll go to that another time.
Yes.
But that technology's there, and that if that technology is there, what else are we using it for? Is my next question. Because
Well,
if
see, it
using it for
depends on how
weapons,
far down the rabbit hole you want to go with the CERN.
yeah,
See,
but
now the CERN collider is also, conspiracy theories, has been involved with the weather machine. Okay,
the thing about
where
whether you can change the weather by
correct,
In
China's
Alaska.
been testing that already.
right.
It's out there. It's proof out there. China tested. They've been testing that, trying to figure out how to put the weather. That's why we get such dramatic, extremes when we go through these cycles we're going through in our weather. But
Hey,
yeah,
but
the technology's real. If someone thinks that technology's not real, you's a fool and you ain't paying attention. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. What else are they using it for? They using it to get weapons, laser weapons. Because you can talk about Star Wars from the 70s with the lasers, bullets, and all that. And they're like, oh, that's just somebody's really crazy idea. But guess what we're doing now? We're trying to, all our weapons, we're going on that type of speed from that show. So maybe they weren't so crazy about that back then when they were thinking about it.
hey,
Well,
Donnie.
because somebody had an idea. Somebody had an idea for it, right?
Hey, we're already experiencing with a weather change machine of our own. It's called the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. It's in Alaska. I just said that was a little known yet critical, important U.S. military defense project, which generated quite a bit of controversy over its alleged weather control capabilities and much more.
Yeah.
Supposedly, the project was closed in 2013, but no, we've. Why do you think the Chinese are doing it now? Because they copied us,
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
Everybody's like, oh, they keep copying. They're stealing our technology. No, they're taking what we're doing and what they can find on public information and just reverse manufacturing it, and they're figuring it out. I mean, don't get
What
mad at
about
them.
what about cloud seeding?
Cloud seeding.
Yeah, I've heard of that before too.
What was it again?
Supposedly farmers do that. They put CO2 cartridges in the clouds. They blow them up, and supposedly the clouds.
Right. Well,
water.
but we do that too, but that's also part of doing weather control.
Okay, I get it, but look where it's getting us. Because if you look throughout history and you dip through all the geologists, they say, they do all what they do as geologists with the dirt and the weather and all this. They can show how the soil tells you, hey, this many years ago, 2 or 3 centuries ago, well, we weren't doing, the soil was better, this was better. They can tell in the soil, how that weather, what it's changed, how it's changed year to year. They can tell that.
But my point for talking about the CERNs and now cloud seeding and stuff like that, turning it into a weapon. Okay. Now, who's to say that the government or the people, the whatever who may be, now all of a sudden we're getting more hurricanes per year. There's flooding all over the country. You know what I mean? And would there be a purpose for the government to? Do you think that? Okay, again, that's why I like saving this for the last and have fun with it, goof about it, do whatever. You know what I mean? What's to say that the government isn't using this machine on our own country to see how well they can control the weather and what they can do with the weather and all of those things to that effect?
I think they know what they can do, what success they had with this machine.
But there's a name for it, and I'm trying to find it.
Harrop. Just put weather
Something
changing,
like that, right?
weather changing machine in Alaska.
Yeah.
And you'll get all excited and you'll start reading. And hey, while you're looking that up, I just want to bring up one point. Now that I'm retired, I get to stay home a lot, and I watched a news briefing. Go ahead, Donnie.
I was going to tell Blaze, the people that had that machine right now, I'd be like, damn, I don't know what's going on. Is there a malfunction? Because it don't seem like it's working too well. That weather sucks.
Right?
Yeah.
People burning, flooding here. The weather system sucks. So whatever you're doing, and I'm not going to be a fool and say they're not doing it, or be a diehard like Blaze you are about we didn't land on the moon. I'm not going to be that kind of fool. I'm going to admit that they're probably doing it. They're just not letting us know. So whatever you're doing is not working, man. Try something else because it's just too damn hot and it's just too crazy, man.
Well, that's just it. I mean, it's hard. I would appreciate it very much if you a little bit of homework. Okay, our conversation about the moon is more for my enjoyment because I love working the boatiers up when it comes to landing on the moon and all of that stuff like that.
Okay.
But secondly, I'd like you to do a little bit of more research on the CERNs. But I don't want you to research what the CERNs can do. We already know that. Okay. I just want you to research conspiracy theories about the CERNs because some of it makes like crazy fucking sense on how if they do things a certain way, could it create a black hole? Some scientists say that it's capable, that it could happen. Okay. Now there are videos out there, real cool videos in a sense that when they were doing certain experiments with the CERNs, clouds would shift above the facility. At one point, somebody videoed above the facility of a portal opening and shit like that. And there's actual real scientists that go along and explain it. So it doesn't really become that much of a conspiracy unless you want to call the scientists trying to create a conspiracy. The way I look at conspiracies is a conspiracy has to start with the truth somewhere. You know what I mean? And then someone elaborates it into a conspiracy. You know what I mean? If the bullet untouched in the JFK assassination, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Lordy.
What it is that creates a conspiracy. So that's another thing that makes me nuts. I don't understand how you guys just take the word of the government. If you go and do research on the committee that ran that, it was so crazy.
Hey, Donnie, let me get this one, please. So you got like almost 50 years here of government experience working for the government behind closed doors and in front of open doors. We know what the government is capable of doing and not doing. Do you agree?
Yeah, Blaze.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But
your
just
JFK
your reaction. That's why the government nowadays is getting more ballsy because reactions by you two guys. You watch the object fucking smash into the fucking moon. You know, automatically it's fucking CGI. It's all of that. And then you get these black operation fucking people that are like, just do it in front of them. They're not going to fucking believe anything that we show them that happens anyways. In other words, you don't question nothing. You know, when it comes to stuff like this, anything when it comes to stuff like this, that's remind you of a Star Wars movie or whatever, you fucking laugh at, and that's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want from everybody. Yes, sure. I think we just lost Donnie.
Yeah, and this sucks, and it's the closing time too. No, but I wanted him to hear this comment. He'll come back on. And I'm not going to repeat myself. I wrote it down so I won't forget. No, Blaizeman. No, nobody's trying to knock on what you think is right. You know what I mean, or what is really happening, and they're just trying to throw some actors or situations to make it, be.
Well, what I'm saying, the only reason why I argue the point, D, is because why is it not possible for our government to do something like that to fool the American people or to fool the rest of the world? All I'm saying is that, look, I really want you to think about this for 1 second, and it's really fucking truthful. If the United States could go to the moon, the Russians were so far ahead of us in fucking space.
Yep.
Okay? The Russians were so far ahead of us in space. Now, if we went to the moon, don't you think that the Russians would have fucking went to the moon to see what the fuck we were doing up there?
Hey, Donnie, no, and Blaze, I just want
to go ahead, get it out.
And I want to make a point that I heard from my good friend on Sirius XM Radio Channel 101, Howard Stern.
My God.
No,
oh my fucking God.
We are Earth, and we are just fucking floating, man, and spinning so fast that we're at a standstill. This whole concept of the Earth, the solar system, nobody can explain it. Nobody can. It's a fucking miracle, and that's what he said. What
Earth, scientist was this?
No, we're not talking scientists. We're just talking real people. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
That never did calculus, and they're just like, you look at it, and come on, Stern has been around on the sector with scientists on it and all that stuff, and he believes it's nobody can. How can this be so fucking heavy, this Earth, and we're just floating in the air? Gravity's holding us. Come on, man.
I don't know.
That's
Listen,
all I had to say. That's all I had.
I mean, I've done research on are we just a fucking hologram? Are we just sort of like the Matrix? You know what I'm saying? And then again, if people sit back, all I ask is just to look into it. You don't have to believe in none of it. A lot of it is me bringing stuff like this up to get someone else's opinion, not a fucking laughing opinion. Like you look at it right away and go, yeah, this is impossible. What if it is? Okay, that's part of the reasons why I created the rabbit hole. We just took a lot of it and made it talking about a lot of news and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
Nobody has to believe in it. It's going down the rabbit hole. It's like, what if? Okay, time travel. What if? There's a lot of information on time travel. You have scientists that actually say, yeah, we have technology to fucking time travel. You know what I mean? Those are just some of the things. We could save it for the last half hour of every show or whatever, but I'd like to fucking just, throw that stuff in there, And I think our audience would like to hear some of that crazy shit as well.
Well, let's go.
I'm a current events guy. That's what you
I'm a
are.
current events guy.
Go for current events. I'll argue with Blaze about that. Whatever, current events. Come on, let's go. Because I'll tell you
You
right
know,
now.
like
I
I said, I think that Donnie gets what I'm trying to say. You know, even if Donnie wants to be,
Okay, so
I forget the word
case
I'm
in
trying
point.
to
Just
find
real
here.
quick, case in point. Let's talk about JFK. They've done the
Well,
studies.
we don't have
It's
time.
physically
We'll start
impossible
going
for
on
that
about
bullet,
that.
one bullet, to do all that. It's physically
No,
impossible.
we got time. You had enough of
No, we
time to
don't.
show your moon with a Johnson going into it. We
No,
got
Yeah,
no,
time to talk
well,
no.
about JFK.
no, we're actually
Hit
out
it,
of
Donnie.
time right now, guys. So,
Yeah.
Oh
hey,
shit.
ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking around for more The Rabbit Hole. Thanks for all our new listeners that showed up on tonight's broadcast. Yeah, so next Thursday, we will be here from 7 to 9 p.m. And again, it's always a pleasure for me. Peace and love to everyone out there. Be kind. If you see something, say something. And that's it for me. One of your hosts, Blaizeman, here on a Rabbit Hole, and Mr. D.
Hey, Blaze, thanks. Donnie, thanks. Thanks to the listeners and viewers. I just got one comment to make, and it's basically a PSA, public safety announcement. This fentanyl crisis is getting bad. It's getting real bad. It's called the one pill, one kill. Educate your children, grandchildren, nephews, nieces. Get the word out. These pills are no jokes. That's all I have. Thank you.
Hey, you know me. Stay positive. Be optimistic. Look for something better. Make it better. Just take action. Make it better best you can. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for viewing. Hope to see you next week, man. Talk at y'all.